The reason why I think it is because the government has failed to understand exponential growth and also failed to learn the lesson of exponential growth 2 or 3 times now, that if case numbers are going up, you have to act. You have to do something. If your R number is above 1, it is only going to get worse, and you're going to have to act sooner.
What do you think they were hoping would happen? And I don't...
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean...
No, I mean it, though. Don't say exactly. I want you to tell me.
It's a strange one, isn't it? It's almost as if, by delaying a decision, it makes a decision easier, but it's only going to have a worse outcome. And you've got to realise that if you're the decision maker. So, yeah, you can delay and delay and delay until you haven't got any decisions to make, because the only decision you can make is the
Brit Raphael Behr wrote a superb article, I think in The Guardian a couple of weeks ago, that made this point, and it really haunts me, the idea that Johnson postpones everything until it is actually easy to make a decision. But, of course, all the other options that were far better than the 2 choices you're left with, they've sailed. They've sailed over the horizon.
Yeah.
And that does actually explain how we've ended up where we've ended up.
And I think I was looking back at my text messages from March last year, and when the rest of Europe was all in a lockdown around about the 12th of March, and me and my colleagues were locking down our lives, because we were saying this is ridiculous. The UK is the only country now with the schools and the restaurants open and everything, and we know that the R number is above 1. So whatever we do, if we do it late, there's going to be more cases, there's going to be more death.
They're not learning from the mistakes the last time around because they're psychologically incapable that they've ever made a mistake. That seems to me to be part of it.
Exactly. And just one other second part, I guess, the other reason, is that from the start, there hasn't been the pursuit of zero COVID, which we have seen in other countries. So in this country, it's always been about sort of suppressing the levels of cases, which they've done badly, because as soon as your R number goes above 1, then you're in trouble, right? Because you've acted too late already. But there's never really been the stress on having zero cases, which is what we should have had from the very beginning. And then we could track and trace, and then we could actually effectively eradicate the virus. Still, I heard someone on the news the other day saying, oh, we're never really going to be able to get on top of this, so we just need to...
I don't know whether that becomes true. I mean, we were speaking to Devi Sridhar from Edinburgh University quite early on in this saga, and that was very much the path that she was espousing and endorsing. I'm not going to lie to you, Joe. I being a complete amateur, a complete layman, it sounded to me like it might be too high a mountain to climb. But Japan more than New Zealand, because New Zealand is close to unique demographically and geographically, but Japan sort of pulled it off on a scale that is almost unbelievable compared to us. And Japan's economy is comparable to ours. Their population is, I think, almost double ours. The population density in their big cities, and they had a proper crack at it. And then, having failed miserably in the first wave and seen the UK's deaths be among the worst in the world, they just sort of thought, well, I mean, it's that old adage which apparently Albert Einstein never said, but the definition of insanity is doing the same thing again, hoping for a different result. I think that's where we are for the third time now.